Welcome to New Sky TV, it's explosive. If there's such a thing as destiny in the world of short dramas, then Liu Xiaoxu is very likely the name most likely to be written into the legendary footnote of Guo Yuxin's acting career. It's not simply a matter of whether they're a good match, but a feeling that grows increasingly unsettling as you watch. They seem genuinely in love. Why was Summer of Fendra so wildly popular back then? It wasn't because the plot was novel, nor because the characters were unconventional, but because the audience clearly felt something on screen. The emotions were real, the reactions were instinctive, and the ambiguity couldn't be hidden. Liu Xiaoxu's eyes weren't acted affection, but rather a possessiveness that was restrained to the extreme yet still overflowing. Guo Yuxin's response wasn't sweet, but rather a loosening, a defense being gradually breached. It's hard to pinpoint which scene started to feel off, but by the time you realize it, you are already deeply immersed in the drama. But what truly made this couple explode wasn't just what happened on screen. Off screen, their every move is the hotspot for netizens' repeated frame-by-frame analysis. A pause in eye contact, a subconscious move closer, a smile that hasn't been withdrawn yet. After the camera cuts, their body language is even more honest. It's not professional affection, nor is it deliberately creating sweet moments. It's a natural reaction of forgetting there are people around. Some might emphasize the fact that they only actually worked together for a mere 11 days, but it's precisely these 11 days that feel off. Developing feelings for a role is a basic professional skill for actors. But the problem is, while some intimate actions can be controlled, some physiological reactions don't fly. Hugging, getting close, whispering in each other's ears, foreheads touching, these might just be a few words in the script, but when they happen to real people, they trigger a chain reaction. Anyone with senses, unless they are completely numb, can remain unmoved. Moreover, this couple's pairing is inherently highly dangerous. The male lead is a classic example of someone brimming with sexual tension, just standing there, doing nothing. His aura is overwhelming. The female lead is universally acknowledged as having top-tier looks and charisma in the short drama genre. Having these two repeatedly act out scenes in the same emotionally confined space is like a high-concentration chemistry experiment. Therefore, you'll find that their interactions aren't sweet, but rather hot. Not pink bubbles, but a slow-burning passion. That feeling makes you want to empathize, speculate, and unconsciously ask, what if all of this isn't acting? Of course, controversy follows. Some calmly remind you, actors do this for a living, it's just their profession. Others bluntly state, this is for traffic, it's a design, a classic template for CP marketing. But that's precisely the problem. If it's all just work, then why do even bystanders feel it crosses the line? If it's just acting, why do many moments seem less like for the camera and more like subconscious, genuine reactions? Thus, a sharper, more cruel question is posed: if you were their real-life partner, could you truly accept it? Can you accept your partner kissing, hugging, and getting so close to others that there's no safe distance between them for a while? Can you tell yourself, without any emotional reaction, this is just work when you see those scenes? Or do you actually know deep down that once certain lines are crossed, it's no longer just acting? This is precisely why the Liu Xiaoxu and Guo Yuxin pairing is so dangerous yet so captivating. Their most fatal flaw isn't the amount of sweetness, but rather the inability to distinguish reality from fiction. Their on-screen romance feels real, and their off-screen romance feels even more real. Viewers constantly tell themselves to be rational, yet they can't help but continue to succumb. And this is probably the most terrifying and successful aspect of top-tier pairings. What truly captivates is not whether they have any concrete evidence, but this ambiguity hovering on the edge of truth and falsehood, making everyone lose their immunity. The more you try to explain it with rationality, the more the details will contradict you. For example, the pause during the interview, the unconscious softening of the tone when mentioning each other's names, the blushing reaction of quickly changing the subject after being teased. These things weren't in the script or the marketing plan. More subtly, they didn't maintain a consistent public image. There were no frantic joint appearances, no deliberate attempts to appear together, no squeezing every last drop of the CP couple appeal out of the public. It's precisely this abrupt ending that makes it so memorable. Like an unspoken emotion, stuck in the most ambiguous, most dangerous, and most unforgettable stage. Many CPs become cloyingly sweet, but are quickly seen as a gimmick. Some rely on artificial sweeteners to prolong their lives, ultimately leaving only awkwardness. But Liu Xiaoxu and Guo Yuxin are different. They are more like inviting the audience into an undefined relationship, then closing the door, offering no answers. So the discussion shifted from "are they together?" to "if they had filmed for a few more days, would things have really been different? If it weren't a short drama, but a long-term collaboration, would things have gotten out of control? Without cameras and an audience, could they still maintain the distance?" These hypothetical scenarios themselves explain everything. Because a truly unbiased collaboration doesn't lead to repeated what-ifs. Truly pure performances don't evoke such strong feelings of identification and unease. That's why Liu Xiaoxu's relationship with Guo Yuxin is repeatedly brought up, rewatched, and compared. It's not because later actors were good enough, but because this particular relationship was so real it didn't seem like acting. In the brutally fast-paced battlefield of short dramas, leaving behind such a to-be-continued feeling is a miracle in itself. No wonder some say, some couples don't need official announcements, because their significance transcends the outcome itself. But the truly sophisticated aspect of the story lies in the fact that they weren't negatively affected by this relationship. Many short drama couples, once they become popular, are pushed along by the market. Second collaborations, third collaborations, live-streamed appearances together, matching promotional items. They want to monetize every bit of ambiguity. But Liu Xiaoxu and Guo Yuxin didn't. It was as if they tacitly applied the brakes at a certain point, leaving the most intense moments in their work. This restraint is intriguing in itself. Because relationships that never actually happened often don't deliberately avoid suspicion, while relationships that were truly almost out of control are the ones that know when to stop as time passes. When viewers look back, they find that the feeling hasn't disappeared. Instead, it's been repeatedly amplified. It's not that the later people are bad, but once the comparison appears, the gap becomes cruel. Some chemistry only happens between specific individuals. So even today, people keep rewatching their scenes. Not to enjoy the sweetness, but to confirm one thing: was that heart-stopping feeling from back then just an illusion? The answer isn't really important anymore. What's important is that in a highly industrialized era of short dramas where emotions are precisely calculated, such a moment actually existed, a moment that makes it hard to distinguish between performance and genuine emotion. It doesn't need a sequel, it doesn't need official confirmation, it doesn't even need proof. It exists only in the audience's memory, like a sealed emotional sample. This is precisely what makes the pairing of Liu Xiaoxu and Guo Yuxin so unique and difficult to surpass. This is precisely why this relationship has continued to evolve over time. When the trending topics faded and the buzz cooled, what truly remained wasn't the data or rankings, but the unforgettable memory that makes your heart clench at the mere mention of their names. Later, Guo Yuxin found a new partner, a stronger lineup, better resources, and higher profile. Liu Xiaoxu continued his steady progress in his own field. Everything seemed to be moving forward, yet the audience would always have a moment of realization that some feelings belong only to the moment. They can never be replicated, nor need to be surpassed. Because what truly moves people is never what happened to them later, but what they were like. It was a perfectly timed encounter. The timing, the state of mind, the emotions, everything was aligned. One day less wouldn't have been enough. One day more would have been dangerous. That's why this couple is repeatedly mentioned, yet forever remains in its most beautiful place. Imperfect, yet complete, not continuing, yet eternal. Thank you for watching the video. See you in the next video. Thank you.